The Triple Crown season is over. It's time to start thinking about the second half of the 2023 campaign for the top 3-year-olds in the land. And to join me as we talk about the Grade 3 $500,000 Ohio Derby, it's my man James Scully from the Lexington area. What's up, James?
Hey, Scott, good to be here. Yeah, it's second half of the 3-year-old season, Ohio Derby. Soon we'll have the Haskell and the Jim Dandy and then the Travers. So some big races to come this summer, and definitely got a big name in the Ohio Derby field.
Yeah, wide open race to top 3-year-old, the Eclipse Award with 3 different winners of the Triple Crown. And Two Phils definitely is the horse that you're speaking of, James, and the one we should start off with. Have not seen the Larry Rivelli trainee since a huge effort on the first Saturday of May in the Kentucky Derby. Let's talk a little bit about Two Phils' effort in the Derby and where he stacks up in this group.
Well, his Derby effort was fantastic. He chased a real, what happened was I thought Two Phils he recorded a front running win last year at Churchill Downs, his 2, but he had been a little bit more push button in his 3 opening races this year, but he drew post 3 in a 20 horse field at Churchill Downs. I thought that forced their hands. So Jareth Loveberry prompted him a little bit, chased the pace, was up there within 3 lengths of the first fraction, which was absolutely wicked in 22 and in like 2, and then continued to race up close in 4th, surged to the lead on the far turn. So he took all of that early pace battle in a sense, or at least a good part of it, and then had more to offer and just got nailed late in the race. Really a game effort to hold the lead till deep stretch. Mage got him in deep stretch, but Angel of Empire, I thought, had every chance to be second. And Two Phils really dug in determinedly. So it was a really commendable second place effort.
Yeah, Two Phils has done so little wrong in his career, James. 9 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. And like you said, a little push button. He has the ability to go to the front or be right off the pace if need be, but also has shown the ability to relax. Has not had the most favorable race shapes in his most recent starts when taking on the best competition in the land. 2 back, he was awesome in the Jeff Ruby with a favorable voyage. But you mentioned the Derby prior to that, the Risen Star, a race that was won in front running that was run from off the pace. Angel of Empire and Sun Thunder. He was once again the best of the up close to the early pace type horses. Are you going to oppose him in this spot, or are you going to swallow the chalk?
I am going to oppose him, and part of my rationale is that as much as I respect Two Phils, I thought he was one of the best top performers in the first 5 months of the season into the summer. I think there's still some fast 3-year-olds to come in this division, and I think we're going to see one in action in number 3 Bishop's Bay. I thought he exits a terrific race. Basically, to me, I thought the speed ratings, the Brisnet numbers, other performance metrics were down in Kentucky Derby qualifiers this year. The Derby didn't get a huge number itself. The Mage didn't. And we saw Arcangelo take, I thought, a big step forward. I think he's still early in his progression, and he's really going to come on in the second half of the season. Well, that remains to be seen. He definitely ran a big race in that Peter Pan to defeat Bishop's Bay by head. I thought that was a terrific race by the top 2. They dueled from the top of the stretch, traded blows where one horse surged first, and then the other one had a counter strike. And while Arcangelo got proved best in the end, I thought Bishop's Bay lost nothing in defeat going 1 1/8 that day at Belmont Park. I think he's going to keep moving forward off that race for Brad Cox. And Brad Cox has a couple of really good 3-year-olds in both Bishop's Bay and Salute the Stars that I think are eligible to make an impact in major Grade 1 races going forward. So I'm going to give him an edge. Granted, it's a tough task against the likes of Two Phils. But one thing I think that was in Two Phils' favor in the Derby, and I mentioned it a little bit talking about his win last year, was he loves Churchill Downs, I think, Scott. I don't think that street sense when he won that Grade 3 by more than 5 lengths last fall, and he ran that big race on Derby Day. I think that's one of his favorite tracks, and I just think that I'm looking for a new face in the crowd. And a big part of my rationale too is value. Two Phils 8-5. I think he's going to be even money or less. I think he's going to get a lot of money on him, and I think I'm going to get a better value, better price, and I'm going to take a shot at an up and comer off of a fast race in Bishop's Bay.
No doubt, Two Phils likes Churchill, but he's also proven to like other racetracks. The all-weather at Turfway, he ran well in 2 starts despite not getting the wire first at Fairgrounds. Didn't run all that well in the Breeders' Futurity at Keeneland, but a majorly troubled trip that day. So I think he's gonna, be able to take his racetrack with him. Bishop's Bay ran huge. This is a colt that was always highly regarded. Got a little off to a little late start to his career for the Brad Cox camp, much like First Mission, and like you said, James, lost nothing in defeat in the Peter Pan. Of course, the effort flattered by Archangelo's win in the Belmont. Stretches back out the 2 turns. Now, he was on the lead and battling early in the Peter Pan. Now, Henry Q draws to the inside, puts Hendrik Carmouche aboard instead of a less aggressive rider in Frankie Dettori, who was aboard in the Peter Pan. Do you think there's any chance they go at it early and Two Phils just sits the perfect trip right off of them?
I think ideally for Flaunt Giroux, the rider of Bishop's Bay, that he's going to sit like an up close second, and Henry Q is going to show speed. And all signs point to that. I agree with it. He won that Mind That Bird wire to wire. Really good points about him. It looks like he's going to show speed from the inside. I think Two Phil's looking to sit third. And if those two are going head to head, that would benefit him. I'm not taking anything away from Two Phil's. I do think it's a 2-horse race. He's a 3-time stakes, or I think a 3-time stakes winner. And like you said, he's won at other tracks other than Churchill. But I just think that that Bishop's Bay is a colt that we haven't seen his best race yet. And I'm going to speculate that he's going to have more to offer off of that Peter Pan. And one thing about him is, Scott, every single race he's run has been decided by less than a length, a couple head decisions. He likes to fight, and I think if he and Two Phils hook up, it could be a terrific race in the Ohio Derby.
No doubt, he's been in 3 battles to the wire, first with stablemate First Mission, then with stablemate Demolition Duke, both at Fairgrounds, and then once again in the aforementioned Peter Pan. I just don't have the guts to fade Two Phils in this spot. I do respect Bishop's Bay, but the way the race drew, Two Phils right outside Henry Q and Bishop's Bay, he should sit that perfect stalking trip. Maybe you would think that maybe a horse like this coming off a runner-up effort in the Derby wouldn't be pointed to the Ohio Derby, but I don't think that's the case. Larry Rivelli's been talking about this race for a number of weeks now. It's been the goal, that or the Matt Win, not the Belmont Stakes. So I think Two Phils set for a big performance in here. Anybody else worth mentioning underneath for you, James?
No, I mean, not really. I think Hayes Strike has a chance to like hit the board, but if he runs better than third, I'd be a little bit surprised. I think it's between those two. Henry Q's the other horse that could hold on for a small share. But, with Two Phils, good points. Once again, he's run 9 times. Larry Rivelli doesn't have to run him that hard. He's got bigger targets this summer as well. So it should be a good race between the two, I believe.
Yeah, Hayes Strike has struggled once he's been risen up in class to this level, but a good effort last time out in the Texas Derby. Looked like he was beaten and came from well off the pace. Lord Miles making his first start since being scratched in the Kentucky Derby. So it's Two Phils for me. James Scully going to go with Bishop's Bay with the slight upset. Either way, get involved at TwinSpires and best of luck in this year's Ohio Derby.